I could make an anime reference here for a quick joke, but we all read the thumbnail and title of this video. We all know what this video is about, so let's not waste anyone's time here. I'm Ian, and this is a Streets of Rogue character guide to the Mech Pilot. The Mech Pilot is acquired from the Character Pack DLC, meaning you'll need to spend real-world money in order to play as them. As for your backstory, it reads, being nice doesn't always get the job done. The Mech Pilot takes a zero tolerance to the approach of cleaning up the city, acting as judge, jury, and executioner. Okay, pretty much entirely executioner. Having already gained a reputation for their unique brand of street justice, the city's undesirables are ready to take on this hulking Grim Reaper, whilst the city's law enforcement are ready to ignore you in favor of making their lives easier. As for your starting setup, you have a 1 in every single one of your starting attributes except for speed, which is maxed out at 4, meaning when you're not in your mech suit, you're pretty much useless at anything other than running away. This idea is hammered even further home due to your sucker and skinny nerdlinger traits, making it so that the prices you have to pay and the knockback you receive are enhanced respectively. As for your starting gear, it is a canister of oil for your mech suit and the key to your mech suit. Your mech suit itself will spawn next to you at the start of each floor, regardless if you are in the mech suit or not using it at all when you left through the exit elevator on each floor. The mech suit itself is like a second skin that completely alters the game when you're in it. For starters, your speed is reduced to that of a snail's, whilst your other stats are set to 5. This is quite considerable when you realize that normally the highest your stats can go is 4. You also gain a plethora of combat-enhancing traits whilst you're in the mech suit. You even get a special trait as well that makes it so that law enforcement will by and large just ignore you unless you shoot at them directly. You also have a laser cannon inside the mech suit, allowing you to shoot at foes without needing to expend ammo from your primary weapons, allowing you to deal with more squishy targets easily while conserving your ammo more efficiently. Just bear in mind that it has a cooldown, so don't go thinking you can just spam it at literally every foe that gets in your way. One of the most powerful beneficial features the mech suit itself has going for it is the fact that if it should run out of health, you yourself won't die, but rather you will simply be kicked out of the mech suit, forcing you to run away with that maxed out speed stat. And you will not be able to re-enter your mech suit under any circumstances until the point of which you have decided to refill it with oil. Thankfully, since an oil canister is in your starting inventory, you can restock on this item whenever you want at your local loadout-o-matic. You can also use an ammo dispenser if the loadout machine blew up, or of course you could use the one in your starting inventory. However, since you can also use this oil to simply heal your mech suit entirely to prevent you from being kicked out in the first place, that seems rather unlikely. And please bear in mind that your mech suit is incapable of healing through conventional means such as medkits or bacon cheeseburgers. There are only 2 ways for you to actually heal your mech suit without using oil that I am aware of, both of which require you to be in the mech suit in order to work. One is from leveling up, and the second is from using health regeneration syringes. But we've gone on long enough about what your mech suit can do. Let's go on to cover what you're going to do with it. Your big quest is called Brute Force Progress, wherein you must kill everyone with an orange arrow over their head before moving to the next floor. This big quest is kind of like rapping, where what you gotta do, sing poetry, sounds pretty simple, but when you decide to try to do it yourself, it turns out to be a lot harder than you initially thought. The 2 biggest issues you'll need to be addressing when using this character will be your mech's health as well as your inability to go through doors whilst in said mech. Since your mech suit is rather picky about how you regenerate its health whatsoever, keeping it topped off between all the constant fighting you'll inevitably find yourself in with this quest will be quite tricky at times. Aside from restocking at oil from ammo dispensers and loadout-o-matics, the only ways I have found to regenerate your health whatsoever in this suit will be level ups and using health regeneration syringes. Any other form of healing, such as bacon cheeseburgers and medkits, as I said earlier, simply do not work on this suit. Thankfully, however, you don't actually need to be in your mech suit in order to kill the individuals you need to eliminate in order to progress through this quest. Heck, you don't even have to be the one that kills them. If a zombie outbreak occurs and everyone gets killed and turned into a zombie except you, that still counts as you completing the quest even if you weren't the one that killed anyone and it was all the zombies' fault. Thankfully, you can still put yourself under the beneficial effects of various drugs whilst in the mech suit. This can allow you to do all sorts of crazy stuff, like being in a giant mech by using a gigantizer on yourself. After all, you don't have to worry about not being able to fit through a doorway if there's no doorway anymore. Additionally, since cops will largely ignore what you're doing as long as you're not blowing up a police station or attacking cops whilst you're in your mech suit, you effectively have free reign to deal with the targets you need to kill for this big quest as however you see fit. Which is good because the NPCs you need to kill for this big quest will be armed with all sorts of weapons, including revolvers in some cases, which is quite surprising considering that they can get these in the slums. This is something of a double-edged sword, since it means on the plus side you can get a revolver in the slums, rather consistently. The downside is you'll be getting shot at with revolvers in the slums rather consistently. A hidden benefit of this quest is that it allows you to see certain NPCs that are in hiding, such as the cannibals hiding in the shrubbery or manhole covers in the park and downtown levels respectively. This is because all cannibals are going to be marked with the orange arrow, and therefore if they're hiding somewhere, they will be plainly marked with these orange arrows, even if hidden and obscured somewhere. If you manage to do this big quest correctly, you'll be rewarded by having your laser cannon recharge faster, as well as making it so that your mech suit regenerates more health when you consume oil. All in all, I give the Mech Pilot a rampage out of 10. If you want to destroy all in your wake, then the Mech Pilot is the premium option. For new players who want to go about the kill everyone route, I would recommend the Soldier first so you can get a better grip of the fundamentals of this game before you go into the more advanced tech that the DLC characters need you to have. But realistically, unless you got the DLC as part of a package deal with the base game, you have long since crossed the threshold from noob to intermediate player long ago. That's all for now, though. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. I've been Ian, you have been you, and this has been the Streets of Rogue character guide to the Mech Pilot. And stay tuned, the alien is coming up next.